Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well on this very rainy day. Today we're going to be jumping into non-specific immunity, so the second line of defense that your body has to fight against pathogens. And so let's go through first, before we jump into the notes, let's go through the agenda for today. So number one, we're going to check our answers to yesterday's blood clot questions with the keys that are attached below. So there's part one and part two, so the first page and the second page. These pictures are the key, and I want you to check your answers, make sure that you're on the right track with what was going on with blood clotting in those questions. Number two, I want you to fill in the notes for lesson 3 using the teacher PowerPoint, and this video will help you out by going through the notes and putting them in your student notes packet. Number 3, try to order cards in the correct order. So we have an attachment here in Google Classroom, and I want you to just go through, and after listening to this video and filling out your notes, I want you to test yourself to see if you understand what's going on with non-specific immunity and how it happens in your body. And then number 4, we have a leukocyte worksheet for homework, which is attached right here. A couple of questions based off of the lesson that we have today. So let's jump right on into it. We are going to head into the second line of defense against pathogens. So in a previous lesson, I believe lesson 1, we talked about the first line of defense. And if you recall, that first line of defense that your body has against pathogens would include your skin, mucous membranes, anything that's on the outskirts you can think of your body to help prevent any pathogens from entering. But if pathogens do enter that first line of defense or get past it, we are going to initiate our second line of defense to come in and help save the day. So I'm going to ask you to pause this video and watch the video that is linked in the teacher PowerPoint slides. What you're going to do is, after or while listening to this video, you're going to answer these 2 questions based off of that video. So what is the second line of defense? Put it in your own words based off of the video with this little fish looking like thing. And then what are some things that happen in it? So again, pause and watch this video. So now that you've watched the video, let's talk a little bit about what exactly is going on in the second line of defense. In that video, it nicely explained what your body is doing once that pathogen enters into the body and when the second line of defense needs to come in. So our second line of defense is not specific. So the white blood cells that are going to be eating the pathogens are not going to be specific to that pathogen. So it's not going to know what kind of pathogen it is. It's just going to know that it's an invader in the body. So another word for white blood cells is leukocytes. And leukocytes, we have a couple of different kinds. For non-specific or second line of defense, we are going to look at phagocytes, because phagocytes are not specific. They're going to eat or attack the pathogens that enter without knowing what exactly the pathogen is, just knowing that it's an invader. So phagocytes, one of them are called neutrophils, and neutrophils are going to engulf around bacteria and fungi. So we have a lot of neutrophils in our body to attack against these different pathogens. And that's just one type of the phagocytes. So phagocytes you can think of as vacuum cleaners. And those vacuum cleaners, again, are going to eat up anything that they know shouldn't be there. And it's going to help later on with our specific immunity, which we're going to talk about in our next lesson. So right now, you don't have to worry about these lymphocytes over here. You really just have to pay attention right now on the phagocytes. So they're going to be engulfing the pathogens or invaders that enter the body, coming into the second line of defense. So let's take a look. Let's just go through and see what exactly is going to be going on with this second line of defense. What are the steps that the body is going to take to now attack against pathogens for non-specific immunity? So first we have chemotaxis, movement in response to chemicals, and that's going to attract the phagocytes to the area of invasion as a response to these 2 things: either proteins produced by the pathogen and phospholipids released by damaged cells. So you can think, okay, chemotaxis, you can kind of think of like a taxi, is going to bring the message and it's going to move the white blood cells to the pathogen because now it knows that it has invaded the body. So now that the phagocyte is there, the phagocyte is going to attach to the pathogen cell surface, and that cell surface is going to have proteins on it. So the phagocyte is going to know to engulf around it. And the fluid nature of the plasma membrane is going to allow this to happen. It's going to help the environment that the phagocyte and the pathogen are in are going to help the phagocyte engulf the pathogen. Now let's take a look at number 2. So a phagosome forms. This is a vesicle that contains the pathogen. So once that phagocyte has engulfed the pathogen, it is now going to be called a phagosome. And lysosomes are also going to come in and play a role, and they are also vesicles, but they're going to bring along digestive enzymes. And those enzymes are going to deposit into this phagosome and help break down and defeat the pathogen that has just been engulfed. And third, that those digestive enzymes from the lysosome are going to break down the pathogen, and the waste products are going to be expelled from the cell by exocytosis. So here's the pathway that the phagocyte and the pathogen will take when that pathogen invades the body. So I'm now going to ask you to look at these 2 links that are attached. They're little videos that go through how exactly a white blood cell, or how exactly this phagocytic white blood cell, is going to come in and engulf a pathogen. So again, pause the video and take a look at these 2 links to do a nice overview and visually see what's going on. So after you've paused and watched that video, you're going to now be able to take a look at these cards and put them in order. So hopefully you can do that now. So remember, you are first going to detect the pathogen, okay? Once the pathogen's in your body, it's going to detect the pathogen, it's going to engulf the pathogen. The pathogen then forms a phagosome within that white blood cell. Lysosomes are going to release their enzymes, and finally, all that stuff that's been broken down is going to exit the leukocyte or white blood cell from the body, or from the cell's body, through exocytosis. So again, in summary, phagocytosis involves a phagocyte. So again, kind of general overview, let's go through. Detecting and moving towards a foreign material, we are going to use what? Yes, chemotaxis, and you can kind of correlate it with the word taxi. Number 2, the foreign material is ingested by endocytosis, very nice. Lysosomes attach to the ingested vesicle, which enclose the foreign material, and they're going to release enzymes. Once those enzymes are released, we're going to digest and break down that pathogen. And last but not least, we are going to expel the rest of that pathogen that has now been broken up from the white blood cell. So again, whenever we talk about non-specific immunity, we're talking about the second line of defense, and we're specifically talking about phagocytes, the ones that just engulf any invader that they see. So they're not specific, they engulf anything that they think shouldn't be in the body. So something that helps phagocytes and white blood cells in general attack these invaders is that different things within the body have different things on their surface that helps with determining whether they should be in the body or not. So let's go through and read this slide. So the surface of an organism's cells are covered in uniquely shaped molecules. So examples include the polysaccharides of a bacterium cell and the glycoproteins embedded in the plasma membrane of a eukaryote. So the protein coat of a virus also contains uniquely shaped molecules. And these molecules are going to help these different organisms, or these different objects, show who they are and what they are as they come into one environment to the other. So an organism recognizes surface molecules present on its own cells, and therefore unfamiliar surface molecules are regarded as foreign and provoke a specific immune response. So in our next lesson, we're going to take a look at how these different structures that are on the outside of these different organisms or these different objects, how they're going to help in our specific response. So again, our surface molecules have a wide range of functions, and this includes hosts binding for pathogens. So just kind of knowing and understanding that all of these different materials that enter into the body and the materials that are already in the body have these different things on the outside of their surface to help recognize what they are and what their job is. So a white blood cell is going to be able to see that a pathogen is there because it notices that the outside of its surface, it's something that shouldn't be in the body. So there you have it, kind of a nice overview of what exactly non-specific immunity is, or the second line of defense. Again, you do not, or the white blood cell, the phagocyte does not know what the pathogen is. It just knows that it's an invader and it's not supposed to be there. So that phagocyte is going to come in and engulf the pathogen or the invader. So once you're all set with this and you have a full understanding of what non-specific immunity is, or the second line of defense, you are now going to head on over to this leukocytes worksheet, and you're going to go through and use your notes in this video to answer these 3 questions on leukocytes. And again, remember, leukocytes is the scientific name for a white blood cell. And again, there are a lot of white blood cells out there. Today, we specifically talked about phagocytes, and tomorrow we'll be talking about lymphocytes. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Very interesting stuff. Have a great rest of your day, and if you have any questions, please feel free to email me or join the Google Hangout. Have a great rest of your day.